You know, every time I say something nice about Genesis, there's always somebody in the comments going, oh my god, I would never buy that, that's still a Hyundai, or they're just copying other luxury brands. But all of you luxury fanboys can keep hating, because when I say Genesis is super serious about competing in the luxury segment, I really mean it. Just months before launching Genesis, Hyundai stole the chief designer of Bentley, and that may be why the GV80 looks a little bit like the Bentayga. I'm sure you've all seen the videos where the GV80 is being compared alongside a Bentayga and being called a budget Bentley, but let's be real, this is not a budget Bentley, and it's not even close to a Bentley. The Genesis GV80 competes with the likes of the Acura MDX, the Audi Q7, the BMW X5, the Mercedes-Benz GLE, and the Lexus RX, and many, many more, and it does that really well. And while Genesis is pretty late to the SUV game, they're not just showing up with the run-of-the-mill luxury SUV, they're showing up with some very convenient and innovative features. For example, the GV80 features the same noise-canceling technology that you see in expensive headphones, and that means this cabin is really, really quiet. The system is called Road Noise Active Noise Control, or RANC for short, and what it does is it kills the noise inside the cabin by generating an anti-noise wave frequency in real time. That's amazing. This is the first time a tech like that has been implemented into a car, and unfortunately my test model here doesn't have it. But let me show you some of the other cool and innovative features that it does have by giving you a tour of the 2021 Genesis GV80, and then I'll give you my opinion on what I think about it. But before I do, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, and share this video with your friends. All right, let's do this. Alright, so there are a lot of cool and interesting things here about the GV80, but they are very similar to what I showed you in my G80 review, so make sure you check that one out as well. Nonetheless, I did keep some things specifically for this review, so let's get into it, and a lot of the things here will also apply to the G80 sedan. So first up, we all know that Hyundai and Genesis have a pretty amazing driver assist system. For the newer Genesis models though, we now have Highway Driver Assist 2, and it's one of the best in the industry. When you have it turned on, you'll have adaptive cruise control, and the GV80 will also stay in lane, so you can just kick back and relax when you're stuck in traffic, but definitely pay attention. Nothing new here, but this one here will also change lanes. To change lanes automatically, all you have to do is hit the indicator halfway down, and the GV80 will switch lanes when it feels it's safe to do so, but you need to keep your hands on the steering wheel the whole time, so you can't just indicate left or right and just take your hands off the steering wheel and let it do all the work. You still have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. All right, next up, so automatic parallel parking is nothing new, but how about parallel parking your car with your keys while you're standing outside of it? That is super, super cool, and both the GV80 and the G80 can do this. To activate this, you just hold down the camera button and drive up until you find a spot and set up everything inside, and then you simply get out of your GV80 and use your key to park it. Of course, I don't see a situation where you would actually use this, but hey, you can show off that you have it. Next up, we have a feature called Passenger Talk, and it's very similar to what we saw in the Kia Telluride and the Hyundai Palisade. Over there, it's just called Driver Talk. So how does this work? Say you have kids in the third row and they're being really annoying and they're not listening to you. All you have to do is hit Passenger Talk and your voice will play through the speaker so they can hear you in the back. Hey, stop fighting with each other back there. Quiet down and don't make me come back there. Sounds pretty echoey even from the front row. Now, folding and unfolding the third row is never a fun process. You have to walk back here, pop the tailgate, and then either use your buttons if you have automatic third row folding seats or manually do it with your hands. But Genesis is all about making your life convenient. So in the GV80, you'll never have to leave the comfort of your driver's seat. You can do it right from the infotainment system. You just go to seats and then you scroll down to third row, seat back, fold and unfold. You select which side you want to fold. You just tap the button, and I'm gonna leave the comfort of my driver's seat and go back there and show you that the seat is now folding down just by me tapping the button in the infotainment screen. That's awesome. But yeah, other than that, there's a lot of cool stuff in here, like a lot. If you want to see things like the 3D digital gauge cluster display, which I unfortunately don't have here since I'm driving the Advanced Plus model and not the Prestige, go watch my G80 review. You'll also see things like Smart Park, which is a really cool party trick. You'll also see the lane change camera, the 360-degree camera with image mapping, and you can get a complete tour of the infotainment system. So go watch my G80 review after finishing this one, of course. The first 7 minutes of it are a good watch. All right, now let's talk numbers and how much this thing costs. It's priced very competitively in the segment that it's competing in. Pricing starts at $48,900 for the base model, but if you want 3 rows, you'll have to go for the 3.5T models, which start at $59,150. And if you want the fully loaded Prestige, you're looking at over $71,000, around $72,000. Not bad at all, actually. So, is it quick? Power for my test model here comes from a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 making 375 horsepower, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo makes 300 horsepower. But the twin turbo V6 here will do 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds with a top speed of 149 miles an hour. The 2.5 300 horsepower model will do it in about 6.1 seconds. So if you don't care about speed, you can go for the 2.5 and save some money. If you want to go through and change some drive modes, you have Snow, Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom. Pretty much the same drive modes in the G80. When it comes to fuel economy, you're working with 18 city and 23 highway on the 3.5 all-wheel drive model. You have a 21.1 gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a couple of days of driving, 14.1 miles a gallon. Let me know if you think that's good or not. I think it's pretty okay. All right, now let's get into the looks. In my opinion, the GV80 is a very handsome looking SUV. And of course, one of the main reasons is because it was designed by the ex-head of design for Bentley. This is one of the best applications of the Genesis athletic design language. One of the first things you'll notice is the giant crest grille, which I think looks really nice. People hate giant grills. I don't know why, but I think they give the car a lot of presence. But the second thing you'll notice is the two-line theme that you'll see all over this car. You'll see it in the headlamps, and I think these headlamps are super stylish and give the Genesis overall lineup a signature look, so you can easily spot it at nighttime right behind you. The same two-line theme has been carried over to the taillights as well, which looks really, really cool. And the best application, in my opinion, of the two-line theme is on the side indicators, which looks really dope. And it doesn't stop there. You'll see the two-line theme also in the body lines of the GV80, especially when you look at it from the side. I love the side profile of this car quite a bit. Oh, and I do want to point out that that crest design that you see in the grille is also carried over to the exhaust. The exhaust have also a crest shape. That's a very nice touch. Overall, I think the Genesis GV80 is one of the best looking luxury SUVs out right now. It has a very nice bold stance, but it also looks super, super elegant. Now let's check out the cargo capacity. You can pop the trunk by using the key, but forget that because there is a very cool button located right in the rear wiper assembly right here. So it's not just hanging out somewhere in the back messing up the rear design. Once you tap that button, you're working with really nothing behind the third row, and you get 33 cubic feet with the third row folded behind the second row, and with everything folded, you're looking at 84 cubic feet, so it's pretty spacious. So you have an automatic folding third row, but the one thing I want to point out here is that the button is clearly labeled. You have 3L, 3R, 2L, 2R. In most cars, it's a guessing game, but here, it's straightforward. You can just tap 3L, 3R together, and the third row will completely fold down. The second row, unfortunately, is just a manual release, so you'll have to go and put them back up manually. So how is it on the inside? Is the Genesis GV80 as high quality and premium as an Audi, BMW, or Mercedes-Benz? In my opinion, definitely, so let's check it out. Everything in here is super nice to the touch. There is a lot of leather throughout this cabin, right here on the dash, even on the side door panels. You have nice aluminum trim basically everywhere on almost every button in the car. And you also have aluminum trim on the indicator stock and the wiper stock. That's a really nice touch. You have a really nice wood trim throughout the whole cabin, and there's a bunch of stitching everywhere in the same wood you can see on the door panel and the stitching right here. Very premium. And then you have this really cool looking glass shifter. I like this look quite a bit. Genesis says that basically everything in here that feels and looks like real leather is real leather, and everything that looks like real wood is real wood, and the glass shifter is real glass. All the seats in the Genesis GV80 are super, super comfortable, and I love the fact that they give you a little padding down here to protect your knee. So you get standard heated front seats on every GV80 trim across the lineup. Ventilated front seats are standard on every model except the base 2.5T rear-wheel drive model, and the same goes for the heated steering wheel. Now when it comes to ambient lighting, I wasn't too excited about the ambient lighting in the G80, but they definitely stepped it up here in the GV80, but it's still not as nice as the ones you get on Audi, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz. But hey, you still have it. Now let's hop in and check out the second row and the third row and all the cool stuff going on back here, because there is quite a bit. Once you get into the second row, you have 38.7 inches of rear legroom back here. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. I have a good amount of room back here. Not bad. If you want some privacy, you have hater shades on both sides. My test model here has manual, but the Prestige has automatic. I can never hook a manual shade properly, but that's the best I can do. You get your own climate control back here. My test model has heated rear seats. If you go for the Prestige, you will also get cooled rear seats. That's pretty dope. By the way, if you want to mess a little bit more around with the legroom back here, you can slide the seat forward and back in the second row. The coolest thing here is that the second row seats recline so far back that you can have a straight up gangster lean back here. That is very, very cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna recline back and chill in the second row of the GV80 and take a little nap in between my filming. Now, the legroom in the third row isn't that exciting, but the cool thing here is that Genesis didn't cheap out. They still care about the comfort for third row passengers. Now, getting in the third row is pretty simple. You can push this button here, and that works if you're sitting back there, or you can push a button right down here, and the second row will slide up and make room for you to get in. It's not that much room, but it's good enough. All right, so now I'm gonna get in. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for me since I'm about 6 foot tall. Oh man. All right, now once you're back here, I've slid this side of the second row all the way up as far as it'll go, and then I'll pull this back. And for me, it's quite terrible, so I'm not even going to try. But it's nice to see that Genesis didn't cheap out back here in the third row of the GV80. You still have that nice aluminum trim around the speakers, the vents, the cup holders even have it, and there's a button here, which is also very nice for your storage compartment. Interestingly enough, you don't have any USB charging ports back here, so I think that kind of sucks. Nonetheless, the coolest thing here is that you have power reclining third row seats, and you can recline them by using the button right here. You have them on both sides, and you could just kick back and relax in the third row. You have power reclining seats in the third row, but not in the second row. I find that kind of weird. Before I give you my opinion on how it is to drive the GV80, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 6 cup holders, 2 in the front, 2 in the back for the second row passengers, which get plastic cup holders, and 2 in the back for the third row passengers, which get nice aluminum trim on their cup holders. St. Pellegrino is the best. Here are what the keys look like for the Genesis GV80. I need this thing to move back a little bit, so let's do that with Smart Park. Come on back. Come on back, GV80. Nice. Let's hear the door open and close sound. You do get soft closed doors only on the Prestige. This is an Advanced Plus, so you don't have soft closed doors here from the outside and from the inside. Pretty solid, very solid indeed. The charging game isn't bad. My test model has a wireless charger and 2 USB ports, one for projection, one just for charging. In the back, you get a real outlet and 2 USB ports. Pretty nice. By the way, let me know what you think about this Genesis steering wheel. It kind of grew on me. At first, I didn't like it, but now it looks pretty cool. Anyway, let's hear the horn sound of the 2021 Genesis GV80. Pretty nice. And now that I've given you a tour of the 2021 Genesis GV80, let me give you my opinion on what I think about it. All right, let's get to it. Again, the GV80 is not a budget Bentley. There's no comparison to be made there. A Bentley is a Bentley, or is it called Bentley? Bentley, I don't know. On the flip side though, this has some features that are not even available in a Bentley. Now I know a lot of you will have a really hard time believing or admitting that the GV80 is as good, if not better, than a lot of the competition out there, but it's true. The group out there that loves German luxury SUVs will probably never consider this, and they'll miss out. And I get it, it'll take Genesis some time to get those shoppers to seriously consider their vehicles, and I respect that. But when you compare this to the Acura MDX, the Lexus RX, the Infiniti QX, whatever, this is definitely the best option, and in my opinion, this might be a better option than some of the German luxury SUVs. As a daily driver, the ride quality of the GV80 is extremely smooth and very comfortable. The Lexus RX is one of the most comfortable SUVs in my opinion, and the GV80 is right up there with it. To top off that really smooth ride quality, you have very nice, soft, supple leather, very comfortable seats to take things to the next level. Not to mention, it's really quiet in here. Performance-wise, it isn't slow, but it also doesn't feel very sporty. 0 to 60 comes in the mid 5-second range, and that's not bad at all, but it doesn't feel as sporty as a BMW X5. This is all about luxury and comfort, and when it comes to that, the GV80 definitely delivers. Now, would I buy one myself? Absolutely. I'm actually in the market for a new car, and if it wasn't for my wife not liking SUVs, I would definitely buy the GV80. So should you buy one? Listen, stop listening to everybody out there on the internet, especially those brand name fanboys that have never test driven this thing. Go out there and test drive one for yourself and see if you like it. Don't even just listen to me. I review all these cars and I tell you what I think about them. But if you're interested in buying something, go and test drive it yourself and see how you feel and then make your decision. I have test driven almost every luxury SUV in this segment, and I have to say the Genesis GV80 is definitely one of the best out there. Either way, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, make sure you share my content with your friends that also enjoy cars. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Omar Drives. I'll see you next week. Take care. Peace. So nice and quiet. Really love this car. Except for the rain. I hate the rain because it makes it hard to film these awesome cars.